And are you doing like you coming out of the womb and experiencing life for the first time? Are you like going through several different personalities that you grew up with, or how you were as a child, and a teenager, and then your preteens, and then your adult teens, and your college teen, and then your adult teen, and then your preteen. I said preteen twice. Your preteen.
Yeah, that's the opening.
Yes.
And then you just go, hey, look at us. We're doing the podcast. The Tilt the Real podcast. Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
It's 2020.
It is 2020.
It's a new decade.
Oh my God! It's
finally everything in the last decade is erased from history. Don't you know how it works? Those are my favorite. It's like, remember these before the new decade goes away, and it's like, they're still there.
Yeah, let's see. The first time we've experienced something like this, we thought the world was going to end because machines were going to take over.
Well, that was the millennium, to be fair.
That's
there
true.
has been another decade turn since 2000.
Can you imagine that? We've been through a millennium change and now 2 decade changes.
Yep, we're back to the roaring 20s.
Hey.
Everybody get your...
The roaring 20s too.
Everybody get your swing music out. Hey, here we go.
And your casual racism. Oh, wait.
Yeah. Bring back prohibition. Now we can have mobsters again, and we'll all just suffer.
Oh, man. Oh, but yeah, new year, new us.
Same pupper.
You have same pupper. Frank is right here with a freshly groomed skin. Or fur, sorry. I forget.
Well,
they
probably
have
also
that.
his skin. He's had very dry skin. That's probably why we took him to the groomer.
That's true.
We realized that it's due to the coldness of the weather compared to where he was from, which was Tennessee.
That's fair, yeah.
His body may not be used to it.
Yeah.
So we may just need to get him some doggy conditioner or some type of moisturizer.
Right. I can't say that the food you have for him does work because it's working for Faye in terms of hair loss.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just more of a... We got our old dogs that. It's just, it's better than just like the normal doggo stuff.
That's true.
However...
But we're not here to talk about the normal doggo stuff. Yeah.
And therefore, I am here to talk about I want to talk about my new challenge, per se, that I am now, at the time of the release of this video, undertaking. Although I kind of started actually on our Thursday groups. Mm-hmm. I've already begun the beginnings of that. To get that crisp opening.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to make your announcement so I can toast to it.
Ah, yes. I've made it. It's not an announcement. I've had 2 podcasts about it technically at this point.
I just wanted to make it official.
It is about my going computerless in D&D.
Yeah. I was debating whether to commit fully, but I didn't want to clean your mess.
Full slurp. But yeah, just a shock on it? Like, here, hand me the binder from over there.
Which binder? The
spell card binder.
Right. I remember coming in and looking at the...
Yes, I'll have to go grab something else, but yeah, so this is what I currently have all of my spell cards in. I used this for a number of different card games before. I had a White Schwartz card in here for quite some time. Mm-hmm. And now I have transferred all of my spell cards because I have 3 decks worth in here and still more pages to add. So if I want to get something like a cleric deck or a bard deck.
Right, it's there. But Marshall, can't you just get the books and carry the books with you?
So, I mean, arguably I still would need to do that, actually. What this does mean is actually I don't need to bring this with me because, and I forgot to grab it.
What'd you grab? Okay. I need to clear for dead air. The economy is dying. It's New Year, and we're still in the same position. We all need to buy gold. Reality is a imaginative thing, and space is not real.
All right, calm down, Alex Jones.
Okay.
Ooh. So I got this cool little spell book. So it's pretty much perfectly sized for like 1 card.
Nice.
And currently I only have 1 character in here because it's the only character I need, because my AL character that I'm primarily playing right now is not a spellcaster. It is a barbarian. Mm-hmm. So therefore no spells. But I can then only take this with me, and I have all my spells that my character has. And then if I really need to, what I can really... If I believe I'm going to level up or something like that, I can add spells that I think I would want, and then just exchange them out later because they're an artificer, so they're able to exchange their spells anyway. But I inherently can plan for it if I need to. Otherwise, I can just leave this giant binder here. You can throw this back on the couch. Okay. And then I can just bring this with me.
Cue glass breaking noise in 3, 2, 1.
Did you throw it on your phone?
I did throw it on my phone. That's why I'm like glass breaking sound. the actual glass breaking on my phone isn't going to be loud enough. We need to amplify it.
So, but this thing is really cool. I actually really like it. I got it for it was maybe like $20 on Amazon.
Ooh.
You can get one that's a little bigger if you want. That's like, it's a 4 slot page. So instead of it just being like 1 card per page, or I guess, 2, but back and forward. It's 4 slot, and it comes with pages that actually allow for fitting the bigger cards. Mm-hmm. So like if you wanted to put big monster cards in there, you could.
Oh, I like
that one is also pretty nice.
I like the dragon designs on it.
Yeah, I wanted one that was really small. That was kind of my big thing. I wanted the smaller one.
Yeah.
If my point is that I want to not fill my backpack to the brim, then I felt like getting the bigger one defeated the purpose.
Man, this feels like good pleather. You've got good material right there.
Yeah, for something that's just on Amazon, pretty good. You can find also ones like these on Etsy, though, if you do. I did find some good ones that were on there for not about the same price. It just was more that I wanted this sooner.
That's true.
Therefore, Amazon Prime.
All right, so that's your commitment for the next year, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, so but what I thought was interesting about it that I kind of wanted to go into is kind of the, I guess it's inherently like the, how much do you like need, or what is the purpose of like this stuff that Wizard makes? Like, what's the point if they have all this D&D Beyond stuff,
right?
Then why do they have all these cards? Like, why do I need magic item cards? Or why do I need monster cards? Why would I need those? Franny, who plays AL on the reg, who DMs AL on the reg.
Because it's really nice to have it offline, because you're not always using D&D Beyond for everything, especially if you play AL. It's a lot more economic just to have the offline things.
Do you just want to hold your mic there, my man?
It's a natural thing, man. Listen. I just want to grab onto something long and hard and put it up to my face.
All right, there we go.
Do you judge me for it?
Mm-hmm, not anymore.
But yeah. Effectively, it's really helpful to have, especially since if you're running an encounter, you're not flipping back and forth. Those cards, just put them up there. You're fine. You're good. That's a good idea to put on a DM screen, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, just like cut a card holder in half, stick it on one of them, and then just put the cards in.
You might be able to look to see if there are any created, obviously third-party DM screens that are out there that may have something like that.
I don't doubt that. That would be cool.
Because there are plenty of DM screens, like third-party DM screens out there. I looked at one a long time ago for using, but I never felt like because I just am very rarely ever DMing in person. It just wasn't one of those things where I was like, well, I really need this, or I really, do I really need this? And it just kind of never ended up being a feasible thing. Maybe one day in the future I will get to that point, but.
I can tell you, too, that it also opens up the wonderful joke of grabbing the monster card and being like, now this monster will switch from defense mode to attack mode and attack you.
I would love to find ways to take Yu-Gi-Oh cards and turn them into monsters in D&D.
Let's do it. I'm sure there's a way.
We could kind of treat, if we wanted to, their card level like a CR. If we really wanted to.
We're going to start with those Dragon Maids, right, that they just released.
I don't know current Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's fair. It was like the big rage on Twitter for a brief second.
I didn't understand what the pendulum cards were. I got one deck from that, and then the pendulum stuff, and I was like, what?
Right. It's the pendulum cards are actually pretty easy to understand. All you have to do is kill a household animal every single time you play it, and then you automatically win.
Oh, well, sorry, Frank.
But yeah, it's now 2020, so our vision is now clear.
Wow.
But let's look back.
Wow.
let's look back at the last year, man. A lot of things have happened. Especially
in the world of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, man, let's see. This year...
honestly, the biggest takeaway, actually, is that we played a lot more games that aren't D&D this last year.
Yeah, that's very true. We played Dylan's Kobold...
Adventure.
Loosely
based on D&D, but not D&D still.
That's true. In the games over at LGG, you've played Stars Without Numbers,
Godbound. We played that for 2 sessions.
Yeah, Frank just exposed his ass to us.
Yeah, we tried playing Godbound, but we did it in the setting of Star Wars. And I think just unfortunately, it was really hard. It's really hard to separate things that Godbound is, and then what exists in Star Wars.
Right.
Because while Sith and Jedi have done real crazy stuff, especially in Legends, like really weird things, it's really hard to necessarily say though if you're especially if we're like what, at least to me, like what RPGs kind of do and are meant to be.
Yeah.
It's really hard to kind of put that type of ethos then into a game which is entirely about being a godly being. Where Star Wars is very much about the humanism. That's kind of what makes Star Wars interesting.
Oh, humanism.
So that was because that's the thing. Like that's the whole point. Is like, oh, these Jedi are these superhuman like beings, but they're strangely human. They have the same like humanistic faults. You know, but so like that's, you can't really do that though when the whole game is centered around you being a godlike being.
Effectively, yeah.
We're just like the normal person over there. It's just like I can just do whatever I want. Like if I want to, I can just crush them, and no one will care or can stop me.
Just we all now know how to use the Force, I guess.
Yeah, you can make mac and cheese, and nobody can stop me.
Let's see here. We went to several fun conventions. We checked out Anime Magic for the first time.
Yeah, so that was a brand new convention that started this last year.
It was pretty quaint. It was nice.
It was very, I mean, it was nice that it was small. More people are going to go there now this year that I know, at least, because more of the people that did go were like, hey, it was cool and not DashCon.
Exactly.
And they even memed DashCon.
Oh my god, yes, he did have the little like.
Shout out to this clip of throwing balls at Omar in the ball pit while he's pretending to cry.
Right. They had some great musical guests and all that, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, the karaoke singer guy was the best. Oh my
god.
It was like it was a sing-along concert. Dude is a great singer. He's from Japan, you know. And then it's like, hey, do you like weeb music, especially mainly anime intros? Because you probably at least know those ones,
right?
This guy's for you.
Oh man! And then after that, we also went to. I keep wanting to say Katsucon, but it's Colossal Con.
Yes, we went to Colossal Con.
We drove the 6 hours. Was it 8 hours?
About 7.
7. It was 7 hours. I was
between.
Yeah, 7 hours to get to Colossal Con for those 4 days, and we found out that 4 days throws us for a loop.
Yeah, especially when going to a con. Yeah, like because we had to go there on a Wednesday. So for the start of the con, which was on Thursday. We were very thrown off because at least even when we go to Katsucon, not you, but at least the rest of us,
right,
go to Katsucon, we are still arriving on a Thursday.
True.
So it won't be that much of it'll be like normal any other con we go to that's out of the state where we leave on Thursday. So that at least will be normal.
At the very least, at least you guys will have the benefit of not driving, or at least some of you will.
Yeah. No. Yeah. As far as I know, everybody's flying, so we're good in that realm, which is going to be nice because, you know, driving to DC is what, a 13-hour drive or something. Like
that would
no
kill
way.
me.
Not with, especially imagine all the tolls you have to go through.
Right. Let's see. You released, wasn't it the last year, A Fighting Chance? Your
that was at the very end of 2018. Though.
Okay.
But we released Origin Stories.
That's true.
Something if you haven't seen on our channel, you should go watch.
It's takes place in our favorite game store, the LGG, Lake Geneva Games.
Yep, we still love going there when we can.
Mm-hmm.
But even though we don't record our episodes there anymore,
no,
but it's still it's always nice going to a game store. That's what allows me to do something like my computerless D&D. I mean, obviously I did say I would try to do that without in Embers. I was going to try to go without using D&D Beyond outside of just keeping the page up, like the character updated. But I'm doing that anyway with any of my characters, so that way I have a backup, so I know A, if like something happens in the sheet, or B, I can use that to double check my own information if I like do math wrong.
That's true. I moved. I forgot that's last year.
Yep, you did move this year.
Yeah, it was. You mean last year?
Well, yes. Sorry, you moved in 2019. There.
Finally moved in with my girlfriend, and things have been pretty great. We got a new dog, Faye. Frank is adorable as always.
Yeah, we got the year for me was rather strange in terms of like as a whole in terms of life, because like earlier in the year it sucked.
Yeah.
I lost 2 dogs.
Yeah, no, that was
about a month apart from each other.
Cheers to Mikey and Indy.
Yeah. They're great dogs for many years.
They were fantastic dogs.
They were 13. And still, they could have gone longer, but just unfortunately, bad legs. Well, for one. And then I think after that, Mike he didn't have it in him.
That's true.
I don't think anymore. Then we got Frank, the amazing boy.
Right, they named him after me. I still hold true to that.
No, it's like Franker Z, the Twitch emote. Franker Z's in chat.
Oh man.
But I mean, still, like we've, despite that, I feel like we haven't been able to put as much commitment I think we would want to put into this channel. We still at least made strides in terms of what we wanted to do for this channel this year.
Oh yeah.
Because like when you just got back from the Marines at the end of last year, right? Like, it was just one of those things where I was like, how, like, you're trying to figure out a way to get this to work, but like it's like everything's in a weird middle ground. Like you don't know like what you're doing. Like you need like what you were kind of doing for work for a while.
Right.
Because turns out when you leave the military, there's not just jobs lined up for you being like, take me.
Unfortunately, I did spend 3 months without a job. And then I wasn't in the best place mentally.
Yeah. So then going into 2019, at least we had our potential of being like, all right, we can maybe figure out something, right?
Right.
So we were kind of able to get some things to work. We got this podcast rolling a lot more. Our live shows have still been going very strong. We've had all of our live shows still, like no matter what. Similarly, the policy we adopted at the end of 2019 will still go into 2020, outside of what has been Christmas Eve and New Year's, where at least even if we don't have a show, we will at least always have a stream on those days and during at least those time periods. If they go longer, they can go longer. But
that's true.
At least there will be a stream on those days. But now either of us can host those.
Exactly. Now I have to learn how to do it because I have no excuses now.
On the plus side, it is very easy.
They
make it stupid easy.
It's gonna be a lot of Fallout 4. I hope you're all ready.
That's fine. Mainly because I mean that's the thing. Our big focus has always been like RPGs, and
right.
What has been nice about the Let's Plays and the gameplays we do is it has allowed us to kind of expand a little bit away from the D&D side. It gives us that realm of like, well, there are other RPGs, and sure, while we can't play a whole lot of tabletop RPGs, we can at least play the video game ones and some type of medium. So, and I did try like doing the RPG Monday. Unfortunately, didn't work for a while. I do plan to bring that back. Now that I'm not at school.
Exactly.
I can now dedicate some time to that.
Yeah.
Likely more on the evening side, but think of it as like now I don't have to split work, this, and school.
That's true, because last year, this guy also graduated. We mentioned it in the last podcast, but I'm still very proud of this boy.
Because, to be fair, it's it's different when this is clearly a different day.
We never
we don't
do
stack podcasts.
exactly. We never do laundry. We always wear the same clothes all the time. And my hair always looks like this.
I debated because I was thinking we were going to record today. I debated grabbing a different hat, but having it around. So it's just like, see, I'm wearing a different hat. How could this be the same day?
But yeah, it's common practice.
But yeah, no, I plan to do, the next part as well is I'm hoping that we can do a little more of the actual content that we really wanted to do. I would, one thing I do plan on making the full video then about my, how to, I think if you would like to go computerless, how to do that.
Right.
Like essentially going pencil and paper in 2020. I think I'm going to name the title Pencil and Paper in my D&D, but I think I named the podcast that, so I may not.
Maybe like pen and paper.
Just remove pencil from the podcast title. I'll just change it to pen. Totally different. But at least like I want to make them smaller, shorter, concise video.
True.
And now that my room and once I just get rid of the stuff off my desk, that it just kind of was in the middle of, but then holidays happened. Once those get sorted away, I'll be able to start recording. I'll actually be able to record with the lights and stuff up in a room that'll be more prohibitive to using like a desk, an open desk, so that I can show things on it, like writing.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at Frank with his little coat, and it's...
Yeah, well, he can be a cold boy.
That's true. Very
it's
cute.
cold out there.
Yeah, speaking of our shows, let's see.
In the real world.
It was last year that we switched from Dark Matter into...
Yes.
Yep.
It was during 2019 that we switched from Dark Matter to Ever-Crescent Moon. And it's... I'm happy I made the decision. I do miss parts of the universe, for sure. But I'm glad that I went back to like a world or like a universe in which not only did that our show has a tie to, that there is like we have something to tie it to, but that we also then have something to that we do also have something that we can then just like also that I can build on and make it something that'll be better for long standing. Dark Matter would have worked in terms of like trying to make something work for the long term,
right?
But the downside is it was also like it's so space. It's like it's so expansive. Like I don't know what to prepare for. I don't know exactly like where things could go. Trying to, because like there every now and then there's the occasion where it's like I gotta wing stuff, and it's a lot harder when it's like you guys can choose to go anywhere. And it's like, oh, I gotta find something.
That's true.
I can wing some things, but it's easier in like a traditional D&D setting rather than like sci-fi.
Right. Cue our volleyball session towards the second to last
winged up.
episode.
Yeah. Well, the volleyball itself wasn't. You guys going to the beach wasn't. The volleyball itself was. I did not expect you guys to drum up a volleyball set, but there we were.
And then we started Embers by Daybreak last year too, and we ended season 1.
Yep. And by the time this comes out, I believe we will be getting back into that then.
Yes, we will.
Because this will be the week after New Year's. So I believe we will be getting back into it then this coming week. So stay tuned for that. Tuesdays.
Hey.
So yeah, I'm very excited for that. Me and you kind of have to go over some things because there are many questions that I have about where things are.
It'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah, I hope
you'll be fine.
I'm sure. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be perfectly honest though about something with Embers by Daybreak. This is my just like pure statement about something that at some point I definitely messed up on, but it was just because of a basis that I was going, or pretense that I was going on from the original version of this campaign.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Which is that I wish that I would have done. I wish I would have made, because like my whole thing was I wanted to make a character that I would be able to like play with the class and everything for a very long time,
right,
and still enjoy. I really wish that I just used, despite the issues we had on it in the original one, I really do wish that I had made an artificer. Just because I love playing this class. I have so much fun. And the reason I think that is because, sure, I may be playing one, on Thursdays right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I may have one in the works for whenever we do this, Baldur's Gate thing that we had done once.
Right.
But like...
I killed everybody.
That's the thing is, like, at least with Ember, is like, I have a little more, like... I have a little more safety to feel like I'm not just like... Because, like, at the Thursday campaign, like I could just be drifted into some type of otherworldly portal out of nowhere and just lose that character. Like, and the problem that the main issue that happens on Thursday campaigns at the shop is characters can just be gone instantaneously, like out of nowhere, and it kind of sucks when you try to make a character that you get connected to, because it's like, well, I may not have them for forever, so
right.
So it's nice in a show setting because you have at least some stability.
Plot armor is what it's called.
For example, spoiler alert for the episode from 12/27. For example, like, sure, I had a giant fireball directly hit Victor in the mouth on a pier, but it's because whoever was in the back of the party was going to get hit by it, and then sent to far reaches of the depths, where they would be forced to take this clock thing.
The Shadow Realm.
Yeah, and then where they would be forced to grab this clock thing as just like a instinct and be saved by something. End of spoilers. So that's the thing. It's like, there's going to be some type of plot armor, or at least like there's more effort made in our realm. Like, I think when push comes to shove, if something drastic happened that would definitely cause somebody to die, any of you guys in that campaign to die, I feel like anybody in your campaign,
right?
If any of us died, I feel like if it was like something that just really cannot be helped, it would be one of those things where it's like, all right, like, I'm sorry, it just happens. I mean, like, that happens even on, like, Critical Role. Like, characters have died, but characters have also been brought back to life. It's like, it depends. You have to, like, it's about really knowing, like, the beats or whatever. Like thing is this a good story beat, or can they actually be saved by something nearby?
Like,
is the capability there?
That's true. Like, David's death.
Percival's first death in reality.
It was like when it happened, we were all panicking. And I was like, "Wait a minute, I know what to do." Thankfully, to something that I got in one of Tyler's old games that kind of inspired me to do what happened to you, which was David found himself naked in some random lady's boat, and she told him that she could see the future and such.
She could see the future,
right? And then he encountered the performers, and now they're all a group again.
Yes. Except I was a masked man for quite some time.
Exactly. And so you revealed yourself in a ploy to try to gain favor. Unfortunately.
Yes. Unfortunately, she was wise enough to know that he probably doesn't like me. That Dad does not like me, apparently.
It's fine. You all suffer from daddy issues.
I was just hoping enough that I could just trick her. The deception, it's like some type of deception role, that I could just trick her. Mm-hmm. That was my goal.
To be fair, though, unfortunately, that was an automatic fail for you.
You and your auto fails.
I know. It's just sad, but in reality, there was only 2 living people on that ship.
Yeah, but vampires fly places. If I was his kid, she would probably think that I could be a vampire.
That's true. In
fact, one did fly onto the ship.
Yeah, it was
the clone of me that now exists.
Right.
The other half.
There was a lot of confusion and a lot. Actually, I have more questions for you for later, or at least for the party. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of things are gonna happen in 2020.
Yeah, but but that was the one thing I do regret is that I sadly I don't have a solid character to like really define as an artificer, because I don't know how strong long-term Eberron Ale is really going to be compared to Forgotten Realms Ale. So it's just kind of like, It'd be nice to have a character, like an artificer character that I could have all the time.
That's true. I mean,
it's just a fun class. I've loved that class since 3.5. It just is so fun.
I'm still looking for certificates to see if you can play that. Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just like it seems like they're just going to be like 2 adventure leagues. So it's just like, well, let's just I'll let them be separate. That's fine. But it's just like, it's how often you'll be able to see it. And so that's just the thing. It'd be nice if I had somewhere where I could have like a stable artificer character to play as. But that at the time there was the first edition artificer. We had a lot of issues with it, especially with the gunsmith.
Oh yeah.
So it was just like, I'd rather maybe than just do the Hexblade Warlock. I had a lot of fun with that on a different character. I think I can make it work as just the Hexblade. I had a whole theme based around it, so it was fine. But then once it got split in half and I had to change classes, it was just like, ugh. Man, I don't know anymore. I don't know what I want for this character, and in terms of it just took the theme out, so it's just like, what am I? Who am I?
Well, there's your motif. This person now has to rediscover himself after death.
Yeah, but the problem is mechanics get in the way too. Sometimes mechanics can get in the way of that. It's the one downside that D&D will always suffer from, and any game will always suffer from that, is unless you are playing a game with 0 rules and you were just kind of taking it off of whatever baseline and you just want to tell a story, up until you do that, if you were playing by any type of rule set, we're kind of sticking to core rule sets and whatnot, you're gonna have always some type of limitation. You'll never be able to fully be that jack of all trades.
So effectively,
even as a bard, you can never be a full jack of all trades
unless you're writing an actual book. There are limitations, unfortunately.
Unless you're just kind of doing because if you want, the option is always there. You can just fully wing it. Just be like, you are this, but inherently whatever you do or don't do is just kind of you're essentially to the point where you're just kind of riffing a story together with a number of people. You're just kind of allowing them to help write. You are essentially just writing a novel, but allowing the characters to make their own dialogue.
That's true.
It's a very valid way to play, but not what we're doing on the shows, unfortunately.
But we are still having fun, especially with our cast and crew.
No, yes. What makes it count the most is obviously being able to play with everybody and the character beings that we are. Mechanically, I make it restricted on ways that I want my character to kind of exist and be and whatnot. But that doesn't mean that there's no fun to be had with the characters that are there, because the party is what makes everything really sync together really well.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's it for this podcast.
Yeah, we stuck to a little more D&D and RPG talk this time.
We did. But here's looking forward to 2020 for a lot of great things.
Yep,
a lot of things are in the works, so stick with us and we'll show you what we got.
Yes, it's going to be very exciting,
especially
in the very beginning of our year here. It's going to be very exciting for very sure. So definitely be looking out for something especially special around March time.
Yeah, I'm going ready for cruise.
That. Well, that's February. I'm talking about March.
But yeah,
we have something very special ahead of us for March. So make sure you're subscribed so you see all that when that comes out.
Yeah. Other than that, we'll see you all next time.
So long.
Bye-bye. Yeah, we saw that one video of the guy who did it terribly. What was that video again?
Yes, we watched The Verge. We watched people react to The Verge's video since it is no longer up.
Right.
But we watched the classic Verge PC build guide, which is a train wreck. If you're not a tech person, watching the reaction version is